People who are being persecuted or on the verge of being persecuted frequently come to the United States searching for a safe haven. But there are many difficulties and burdens that you must bear in order to flee your country. Unfortunately, the fight does not cease when you abandon your country. It still continues even when you seek a safe haven in another country. Hi there, my name is Andre Major, immigration attorney and an immigrant myself. In today's episode, I'll go over the steps on how to obtain a green card as a refugee. Before I begin, please click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell for you to get updates on all our new immigration content. Also, kindly leave a comment down below on your thoughts or ideas about today's topic and check out our other videos. Now let's get right to it. The United States government has recognized individuals who flee from their home country to the United States to seek refuge from past or future persecution because of their race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion. That process is called asylum if you do it from inside the United States. And the US government will also give you your green card if you're granted refugee status. But what if you're not in the US to request refugee status? Can you still apply? And who can apply? The basic condition for someone to qualify for refugee status is that they are unwilling or unable to return to their country because of prior persecution or fear of future persecution. And the persecution has to be based on well-founded threats or well-founded fear due to race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion. Now, who can't apply for refugee status? There are also some people who are prohibited from applying for refugee status because, first, you've assisted in the persecution of another. Well, if you've incited, ordered, or assisted in threatening or oppressing someone else because of their race, religion, political opinion, etc., you don't get to apply for a refugee. Second, if you threatened U.S. safety or security. If you're a danger to the U.S. or have committed serious crimes, you may not be granted refugee status. Those who have also been involved in terrorism or serious non-political crimes outside of America, guess what? They're not getting refugee status either. Now, how can one apply for refugee status? In order to be granted refugee status, you must be deemed eligible for a refugee interview by the U.S. Refugee Admissions Program, or USRAP, USRAP. Additionally, prioritization is used by USRAP. For example, refugees who have been recognized and recommended to the program by the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, we love our acronyms, a U.S. embassy, or a certified nonprofit organization are given first priority. In addition, those in groups of particular humanitarian concern or those needing to be reunited with family are also put into prioritization. Now, here are 2 steps to jumpstart your journey towards refugee status. Step 1, to begin your application, go to the nearest appropriate office or agency. If you feel you are qualified, you must contact the nearest UNHCR office or your local U.S. consulate. It would also be advantageous if you had family in the United States who could call the local refugee resettlement agency for guidance and assistance in completing the relevant forms to support your application. On the other hand, if you obtain a referral from USRAP, a U.S. State Department funded resettlement service center will assist you in completing the refugee application. Please keep in mind there is no application fee and the information you supply will be kept confidential. Step 2, prepare for an interview. If you are found to be eligible, you will then be interviewed by a USCIS officer. So based on your paperwork, they will decide whether you're going to be interviewed. And then based on your response or story, the officer is going to assess your eligibility for refugee relocation. The officer will also determine if you meet the definition of a refugee, what prioritization bracket you are in, and whether any issues would prevent you from entering the United States. Remember that the officer will rely heavily on your story and answers, as well as documents, if any, to back up your claims. Also, what's the current situation of your country will be a factor in their decision-making process. Assuming the interview is successful, the Resettlement Support Center will proceed in checking your background and schedule you for medical examination. But what should you do if your application for refugee status is denied? Other than call for help, if your application for refugee status is denied, you are free to reapply as many times as you need. While there is no formal appeal available, you may file a request to review the Resettlement Support Center decision in your area. Take note, however, that the request can only be made once. While there is no filing fee, the request must be made within 90 days of the date of the denial notice. The language that will be used in the request is English. This means that you have to fill out the request form in English, and the supporting documents in another language must be translated into, you got it, English. Additionally, you must clearly explain why the officer who interviewed you was incorrect to dismiss your case or present fresh evidence that might persuade the agency to change its decision. Before we proceed, if you're watching, go ahead and hit the like button down below and click the bell icon to keep yourself updated about any of our videos or other immigration-related content. Now let's get back to it. Since we know how to get a refugee status, let's discuss the steps to get a green card after you've been granted refugee status. Before you can apply for a green card, you have to first be in the country as a refugee for at least 1 year. Please remember that as soon as you satisfy this requirement, you should immediately apply for adjustment of status, because if Department of Homeland Security deems the conditions in your original country have changed, then your refugee status could be revoked. So don't wait. How to adjust? Great question. Step 1, prepare your adjustment of status application. In adjusting your status, you must secure and fill out Form I-485 application to register permanent residence or adjust status. You'll also need to include additional supporting documents, such as medical examination from a USCIS approved physician. After you have completed all of the paperwork, you must mail them to either the Phoenix or Dallas lockbox, depending on the state in which you live. Look at the instructions in the form. When the USCIS receives your application, it's going to send you a receipt notification. In addition, if the USCIS requests further information or proof, they will issue you a request for evidence or a notice of intent to deny. Step 2, attend your adjustment of status interview. You will be notified of the interview at least 2 weeks in advance. You must prepare for and anticipate a personal interview with a USCIS officer. These interviews are often conducted at the nearest USCIS office to you. So if you live in California, they're not going to give you an appointment in New Jersey. During the interview, you must explain why you are afraid of returning to your country of origin from which you left, and you have to give supporting documents or facts to strengthen your argument. Keep in mind, you're not alone in your search for a safe refuge in the United States. You can call us today if you need an experienced immigration attorney to advocate for you and discuss your situation. And folks, that's all for today. If you found this video informative, then please like and share it with your friends who might also be considering applying for asylum or refugee status. And if you have any ideas for future videos or would like me to talk about a particular immigration-related topic, go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, stay healthy and be safe.